You're looking for that under-the-radar handcuff that you can pick up off waivers that no one's paying attention to, that you can hopefully catch lightning in a bottle once you reach the playoffs, especially if the starter goes down and that running back gets his opportunity. Everybody's asking me questions about Chase Brown. I'm getting requests to do videos on him. We're doing that today. We're going to cover whether or not you need him for fantasy football. What you need to do right now is click that subscribe button. Tap it with the finger on your phone. Click it on the mouse or computer. Whatever you got to do to get the job done. We cover the waiver wire every day. We help you set your lineups. I'm a key resource to your research in the offseason when it comes to your drafts. If you don't hit that button, you're going to miss out. But let's dig into Chase Brown real quick. A lot of people have questions on him because they saw him play against Jacksonville. He looked good, 9 carries, 61 yards, had 11 snaps. Those snaps were early in the game too. Got people confused whether or not he was getting a bigger role in the offense. 15.1% snap share when everything's said and done. However, Joe Mixon's still the guy in this offense. Joe Mixon is still Joe Mixon. He's still the starting running back, and he has been productive. 29.7 PPR fantasy points against Jacksonville. The week prior, just 8. 21 against Baltimore. And then, you look at his last 6 games, he's been an RB1 in 4 of his last 6. Prior to that, you got some RB2 games, a little bit slower, but still good enough to get the job done for you in fantasy. They like to use him. We can tell by the opportunities here. 19.1 opportunities per game, 26 on Monday night, 10 in week 12, 21 on week 11 against Baltimore. He's getting a lot of opportunities in this offense. However, when you look at the starting running back, and if he's getting a lot of opportunities and he goes down, that means the backup or the backups are going to get a good bit of opportunities after that. I could see it in this offense that the ball goes to the wide receivers because it should, really. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, I think that plays it out. I think we know that, but the running backs will get some work. Going back to Chase Brown's collegiate profile here, very productive during his final year at Illinois. Technically his senior season. 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. Productive the year prior, 1,000 yards. But last year, everybody was talking him up. Was one of the top running backs in missed tackles with 83. Yards after contact per attempt, 3.26 on his career, 2.84 last year. But looking at the game logs here, went off almost to over 100 yards in every game. Almost in every game, he blew up. 98 against Purdue, 61 against Northwestern. After that, blew up in every game. 140 against Michigan. That's the contest we had circled last year to see whether or not he could go off and be productive. Carry Illinois against a team like Michigan. And he did well. He played well. Was very productive. Good to see. Going back to the draft process, though, he scored well at the combine. 4.43, 40-yard dash, 89th percentile size-adjusted speed score, good burst score. One of the most athletic running backs in last year's class. Last year's running back class was so deep with talent that it caused the running backs to slide a little bit in the draft because we had so many running backs and not much demand for the running back position. And I can prove that to you by looking at the contracts for the running backs, how running backs had to fight to get contracts in the offseason. Then we get a draft like this. We're about 15 running backs deep. We see a bunch of talent at the running back position. We're in the middle of our draft. Why not draft that 3-tech? Because I know once we get to the 4th, 5th, 6th round, there's still going to be some talented running backs, and they're not much of a drop-off compared to the other running backs a round or two above them. Chase Brown happened to be one of those running backs. Very good production profile. Still 5 years in college. One of the reasons why he slid. Good athletic profile, though. The Bengals might have found a diamond in the rough here if he really hits to his upside. And when it comes to upside, he's got to get touches, got to get opportunities. Right now, Joe Mixon is the guy there. He's going to soak up all the opportunities in this offense. He's seeing an 84.5 opportunity share in his last 4 games while seeing almost 70% of the snaps. If he's on the field, Chase Brown's not getting it. If he's on the field, Travion Williams is not getting it. Travion Williams was getting some run earlier in the season. Not too much, but some opportunities. Chase Brown got most of his on Monday night. He's the hot piece right now. A lot of people have inquiries about him, and you know what? He's a handcuff running back. There's some questions whether or not how they will split up this backfield if something happens to Joe Mixon. And how will the ball spread around? Because if I were them, I'd just throw it more to Chase and throw it more to Higgins. That's what I would do. But something will go to the running backs. Chase Brown looks like he was the next man up, according to our recent sample from Monday night. However, he's more of a handcuff right now until something happens to Joe Mixon. And when it comes to handcuffs this late in the game, when it comes to fantasy football, going into the playoffs, it's more of a luxury. Not a need, more of a luxury. That being said, you need him because you need a handcuff for Mixon, and you want to have a handcuff for Mixon. You don't really need it, but he's more of a luxury. You don't need him, but if he's on the back of your roster and something happens to Mixon, everybody's going to be running to the waiver wire to get him. A lot of people ran to the waiver wire already this week to get him because I'm seeing a lot of questions. I'm seeing a lot of people searching his name in the Google Trends. So a lot of people are interested in Chase Brown. That being said, I look at him more of a luxury piece because you got to have the space on your roster. You got to have the roster configured for that. You don't have a spot for him, you don't need him. That's all I got to say. But you may need him if you got a spot to take on a handcuff with some upside, a little bit unknown. You're sick of the running backs on the waiver wire, and you know what? You got that spot for them. But right now, keep it simple. Play with the players that got you there. Don't take any unnecessary risks. We had all season to do that. Right now, if you're going to the playoffs, you know how you got there. Roll with that. But if you got a spot to gamble with, it's always good to gamble, and you can do that. But let me know what you think about Chase Brown in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.